This Saturday, England play Norway, and before a single ball is kicked, the internet has already found its main character. Not a goal, a face. Two of them actually side by side. Erling Haaland, blonde hair pulled back, pale and sharp featured, the picture of what people call the Nordic look. And across from him, an England player with a tousled crown of red gold hair and freckled skin. Someone posted the pair with a caption that traveled around the world. Two very ancient phenotypes, it said, will be at play this Saturday. And you understand the feeling instantly, don't you? Look at those two faces and it seems obvious. Each one looks like it stepped out of a different, older world, as if one carries the frozen north in his blood and the other some deep, misty island past. Two timeless types, preserved across the ages, finally meeting on a football pitch. It's a beautiful story. It's also almost entirely wrong, and the truth underneath it is far stranger and far more wonderful than the myth, because your face is not a badge of where you're from. Your face is a history book, and nearly everything you read in it as a type, a bloodline, an ancient people is a caption on a story that is much younger and much more shared than you think. Let's start at the beginning. When the first modern humans walked into Europe around 45,000 years ago, they were hunter-gatherers, and here is the first surprise. For most of the tens of thousands of years that followed, the people living in Europe did not look the way you might picture an ancient European at all. We know this because of a man called Cheddar Man. He is the oldest near-complete human skeleton ever found in Britain, around 10,000 years old. In 2018, researchers at the Natural History Museum and University College London pulled DNA from the dense bone behind his ear and reconstructed what he most likely looked like. Their finding, and they were careful about its uncertainty, was that Britain's oldest known Briton had dark, curly hair, blue-green eyes, and dark, even dark to black skin. Sit with that for a moment. The original inhabitant of the British Isles, if you could pass him on the street today, would look nothing like the modern idea of an Englishman. The pale skin, the light features we treat as native, as ancient, as belonging to that land, simply were not there. Not yet. So where did they come from? They came, like almost everything about us, in waves. Modern Europeans are a blend of at least three ancient peoples. There were those first hunter-gatherers, dark-skinned and blue-eyed. Then around 9,000 years ago, farmers arrived from Anatolia, modern-day Turkey, bringing agriculture and lighter skin with them. And then around 5,000 years ago, a third people swept in from the grasslands north of the Black Sea, herders on horseback that scientists call the Yamnaya. Every European alive today, from Norway to Portugal, is some mixture of these three streams, not one pure line. Three rivers, poured together in different amounts, and this is where the myth really comes apart. The classic Nordic look, the blonde hair and blue eyes and pale skin that people imagine as the oldest, most rooted European type of all, is actually one of the youngest. The Yamnaya themselves, the very people who reshaped the continent, were mostly brown-eyed and brown-haired, with skin of an intermediate tone. Blue eyes trace back to a single mutation that appeared in a hunter-gatherer only some 10,000 years ago. Light skin spread later still, and the full combination, the blonde hair and blue eyes and fair skin all together, only shows up at high frequency around 5,000 years ago, after the steppe herders mixed with the farmers already there. So Holland's face is not 45,000 years old. The look we call timelessly Nordic is a recent bloom, only a few thousand years young, the product not of ancient isolation but of ancient mixing. And what about that red gold hair on the other side of the pitch, the color so tied to Britain and Ireland? Red hair comes mostly from variants of a single gene called MC1R that happen to be unusually common in the British Isles. And here is a small, perfect piece of wonder. Neanderthals, a completely separate kind of human, also had redheads among them, but they got their red hair through a different mutation on the same gene. Nature reached for the same color twice on two separate branches of humanity and painted it in on each of them by a different route, not a shared bloodline, a coincidence of chemistry. Which brings us back to those two faces and the caption that called them two ancient phenotypes. They are not two ancient types, they are two mosaics of the very same three migrations shuffled into slightly different arrangements. The handful of genes that make them look so different, the ones for hair and eye and skin, are a vanishingly thin sliver of the whole genome.